Hello everyone, my name is Shocker, and I'm joined by no one today. And this is the Wrestling Club Podcast. Welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Club Podcast. As I said, my name is Shocker, and unfortunately Chris and Gillespie couldn't be with us today, but they will be back soon. But as they say, the show must go on, and here I am doing the show alone. Let's see how this goes, guys. There is a lot going on in the wrestling world right now. I mean, Roadblock was last night. We have Cena missing Mania for the first time in years. And we have Big Boss Man in the Hall of Fame. And we're going to cover all that in this episode of the Wrestling Club Podcast. Before you get into this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We really would like anyone who loves wrestling as much as we do to subscribe and let us know your thoughts on these things. And that's what we really want to do, is get interaction with fans. That's what we're doing this for. But let's get right into it. Roadblock was last night, and I was kind of excited for it. I'm not going to lie. I figured, this is supposed to be a house show, but they're going to do something special for us. And I was excited for a special show. The show opened with The New Day, which they got me hooked right there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this. And then The New Day came out with Bootios. I guess they're a real thing now. Will someone look that up for me? Are they real? Can I go buy them? Because if so, I'm going to go buy them. But The New Day came out to a huge pop in Toronto, which I was expecting. I mean, everyone loves The New Day now. And they were kind of, faced tonight. I mean, they faced the League of Nations, Sheamus, and Bad News Barrett. But they really clicked tonight. I mean, they were mocking the Hills, and Big E's little kid voice cracked me up. That was hilarious. But the match was great. It really showed that The New Day is more than just a comedy act. And it showed Sheamus and Barrett can still go too. I mean, they always have been able to. And some people just forget. They overlook it. But this was one of the better matches of the night, really. I mean, Big E with the suplexes. I mean, dude is the most underrated person, one of the most underrated people on the roster. There's plenty of them, but he is one of the most underrated. Yeah, he has the tag team titles, but I think people don't give him the credit he deserves, or anyone in this match really gets the credit they deserve. But it was a really good match. The New Day won, obviously. I mean, who thought they were going to lose this match? But yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about. It was a really good match against some good spots. I thought Kofi got hurt when he jumped off the top rope at one point in the match, but he ended up being fine. I was really worried at first. I'm like, no, not Kofi. In the end, the New Day won. They did their thing, and that was it. Next on the show, we had Chris Jericho's music hit, and it's his home country, Canada. So I'm like, this dude's gonna get an awesome reaction, and he did. Jericho came to the ring and changed everyone's opinion of him. He went straight savage mode, and hated on Canada, said, this is why I left this stinky country. Yeah, he said it smelled bad. He said the place sucks. And they started chanting Bret Hart after Jericho said that he was the biggest star from Canada. And Chris Jericho's like, Bret's never coming back. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, we all know that Bret Hart has cancer, and I hope he's doing okay. I hope he's it's going to go away soon. But Jericho is he's an awesome heel. He always has been. And I was excited when I saw him turn heel, even though I was disappointed at the same time, because I've seen him and AJ Styles wrestle 3 times, and now it's going to be the 4th time, and AJ Styles has only been there since January. But Jericho's an awesome heel, and he knows how to work a crowd. That crowd hated it. As I read earlier that in Toronto today, on Sunday, this is Sunday, today, not him, but someone said that there was a gathering, a get-together in Toronto to burn all your Chris Jericho merchandise. And Jericho said, take pictures. I mean, the dude's awesome. I love Chris Jericho. But he went on a rant about Canada, and, the crowd hated him. And Jack Swagger came out, and no one cared. Poor Jack Swagger. But it was an alright match. The match didn't last very long. It lasted longer than I thought, though. I gave him some time, but the crowd wasn't feeling it at all, and Jericho won with the walls, and that's how that ended. On the way out, though, Chris Jericho grabbed a fan's sign that said, "Get well soon, Brett," and ripped it up. Chris Jericho getting the major heat, boys. I mean, he knows how to be a heel. What more can I say? He is an awesome heel. Chris Jericho with the win. He's a savage tonight, and that's how that ended. Next, we had the match I was looking forward to the most. It was the Revival versus Enzo and Big Cass. And I think it's a really good move putting this on the show because it gave viewers that don't watch NXT but watch the pay-per-views, it gave them a chance to see Enzo and Big Cass. Because I think they're going to move them up soon. They should, honestly, I think they should, but it gave them a chance to see what they can do. And also the Revival, Dash and Dawson, they are so underrated. They are awesome. Their tag team finisher is crazy. But Big Cass and Enzo came out first to a pop, and I'm like, yes, people know who they are. I was kind of nervous at first, but I'm glad people knew who they were. Not everyone, but a lot of people did. And they did, the how you doing, they did all that in the soft chant. That was awesome. And the match started. Dash and Dawson kind of got a quick start on them, but it was pretty even the whole match. I love when Big Cass picks up Enzo and throws him outside the ring. Or throws him at the opponent. It's awesome. But anyways, the match was going to end. Big Cass was clearing house, and he tagged in Enzo to do where he throws him from the top rope. He was going to do that. But then the Revival, they did their thing. And they threw Enzo off the top rope, which kind of sucked. I wanted to see him win this so bad. After that, Big Cass got thrown out. He wasn't anywhere to be seen. And Dash and Dawson did the finisher from the top rope, and that was it, unfortunately. But you can always take something good out of this. I think Enzo and Big Cass are moving up really soon. Sooner than later, I hope. And also, I hope Vince McMahon looks at this, because we all heard the rumors this week. Vince McMahon apparently does not like NXT. I have a few things to say about this, Vince. If you're listening, I doubt you are. But if you ever hear this, I want you to hear this. NXT is your developmental program. It is where your stars go to get better, to own their craft. That is what they're doing in NXT. That's why people love NXT. Your top star, Roman Reigns, well, your wannabe top star, he's not going to work out, I don't think. Where did he come from? NXT. Where did Seth Rollins come from? NXT. Where did Dean Ambrose come from? You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm saying, Vince? A lot of your top stars, your future stars that are already on the main roster, came from NXT. Finn Balor is a future star. He will be the face of your company. I don't know if you realize that. If you don't, Triple H sees it, I'm sure. Finn Balor will be the face of that company. Those guys can wrestle. I'm sure a lot of guys on the main roster can wrestle, and we don't get to see it as much because Vince doesn't care as much about wrestling as Triple H does with NXT, because that's where people go to have wrestling matches. Vince, I don't know why you don't like NXT. I don't know how true these rumors are, but it's not about the big guy anymore. It's about who can actually go. And every match I see on NXT, those guys can go. Now, there's a few exceptions every now and then, like Mojo Rawley. He's alright, but he's not the best. But guys like Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, those guys. I mean, look at the tag teams. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. Oh my gosh, those guys are amazing. The Vaudevillains. Vince, what are you looking at? Are you watching this? I mean, I miss some NXT shows every now and then, but when I do watch, I know I'm going to get something amazing. We had freaking Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn in a 2 out of 3 falls match on NXT last week. What? I mean, that's an awesome match. That's a pay-per-view quality match. That's main event quality match. But Vince thinks NXT is just for fun, and it's just, a traveling thing. Oh, we're doing this so people can, they can travel. People can come watch. It's just for fun. Vince, this is your developmental program. I don't know if you realize that or not, but this is where your stars start for the most part. They're going to start here. Don't bury them. That's all I have to say about that. Don't want to go into much more about that, but Vince, please don't bury anybody. Look at Tyler Breeze, the poor guy. You've made breaking ground about him coming up to the main roster, and then you're like, oh, That's a good one. Sorry, Tyler. I mean, come on, man. Vince, NXT is great. And I think you're going to realize that soon if you don't. Sorry about my rant there, guys. I just had to, I remembered that when I talked about them moving up. And I just had to say that. NXT is awesome. We had Stardust versus Sami Zayn next. I don't know if this was thrown together really quick or not. I didn't know about it until the show started. But Sami Zayn came out to a huge pop in his home country of Canada, just like Jericho. And Stardust, no one cared about him. Come back, Cody Rhodes, wherever you are, wherever you're hiding. Come back, we need you. But Zayn, started off early, countering everything. He was blocking every move Stardust was going for. And Stardust got really mad and he got out of control. And Sami Zayn just, did his thing. It is now time to talk about the main event, the biggest match of the night. Triple H versus Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I was disappointed with this one as well. I saw a lot of people talking about this saying, match of the year, this is an awesome match. And I love both these guys. They're in my top 10 right now. But I wasn't feeling it. I think the fact that I knew deep down Ambrose wasn't going to win kind of took it away from it for me. And there was just some really good spots in this match. Although they did screw up. Demon's foot wasn't under the ropes when they called. He won basically, but they said his foot was under the ropes, so it didn't count. But his foot was clearly not under the ropes from any angle at all. So give him the win to keep kayfabe alive? I don't know. But Triple H won clean, which surprised me. I'm like, what? That's it? I mean, pedigree, boom, that's it. Ambrose did his normal thing, some crazy stuff. But the match went kind of slow, I think. I mean, that's my opinion. I thought it was kind of slow. Actually, I had to... Okay, I actually had to go back and watch this because I fell asleep before the match started. I had to go back and watch it when I woke back up. Because, honestly, this pay-per-view, or not even a pay-per-view, this network special just disappointed me overall. There was some really good things that came from it, and I really enjoyed some of it, but I was just disappointed because Michael Cole said it himself when the show started, this could change the complexion of WrestleMania, and it didn't whatsoever. Not one thing changed. WrestleMania is exactly the same as it was before this happened. So what was the point? Why did we have this? Yeah, there were some good matches, but we see good matches all the time. Why was this a thing? You promoted this to be this, special. This could change everything. And it did nothing. That's why I was disappointed. Roadblock just didn't do it for me. I would suggest WWE next time, do something, change it up a little bit. Do something unpredictable because this was very predictable and I wasn't feeling it, guys. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments right here, but I don't know. My personal opinion, if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a C minus, and that's not a good grade in my mind. Yeah, C's average, but it was below average, C minus, so minus average. That was Roadblock, guys. Let me know what you think again. Now, let's move on to our next topic. John Morrison, now Johnny Mundo, Lucha Underground. He made a comment earlier this week. I was reading it on Facebook, and it was about Roman Reigns. He said, yeah, I want to fight Roman Reigns in about 10 years. Maybe he had learned to wrestle by then. And I immediately thought, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. And a lot of people looked at it, and he got a little bit of heat. He got a little bit of heat because of it from Roman Reigns fans, which, come on, guys. He's just speaking his mind and speaking the minds of tons of people who think that he cannot wrestle, which I'm one of the people who thinks he's not that great, but that's besides the point. And Rikishi fired back, stating all Roman Reigns' accomplishments. He's won 2 WWE championships. Yeah, his total reign of 2 times lasted about a month, maybe less. He won the Royal Rumble. Shouldn't have. He's former tag team champs. That's one of the good accomplishments that Reigns had. But other than that, no. Just shut up, Rikishi. But anyways, I kind of got upset at this. I mean, Johnny Mundo is an awesome wrestler. and he was just, like I said, speaking his mind. And I was reading comments on the post, people saying, "Who are you to say this, Johnny Mundo? You never did anything in the WWE." He had one of the longest tag team title reigns of all time. He had an amazing ECW championship reign, which, yeah, it was a sucky ECW, but he was champion for a long time. Also, he was Intercontinental Champion. He had a United States Championship at one point. He did a lot while he was there. The way I look at it is, everyone in the WWE is handpicked to win the title. They're given the title. I know some people really do deserve it, but people are basically given the title. If you win the title, you're given the title by the company. So don't throw accomplishments at this situation, Rikishi. I mean, anyone be like, yeah, he did this, he did this. They let him do that. John Morrison was great while he was with the company, but they didn't give him a push like they're giving Roman Reigns a push. It's a different situation. You can't say, well, he wasn't as good as him because he didn't do all this. They didn't let him do it. You can't compare those things. John Morrison is so experienced. He has been wrestling for years now. I think he started in 2003, 2004, sometime around that. But he's experienced. That was almost, 12, 13 years ago. He's been wrestling for a long time, and he's had time to get better. And he's gotten so much better. I mean, he was great while he was in WWE, but he's so much better now. Go watch his matches in Lucha Underground. They're great, every single one of them. I just don't understand why he had to say this. You can even say Johnny Mundo was kidding when he said this, because he also said, yeah, I'm going to freaking beat the crap out of Seth Rollins. He might have been joking, but anyways, if it wasn't, that's just his opinion. And yeah, people have their opinions about Johnny Mundo, but if you watch his matches, he's really good. He has so much charisma, and he is a great talker as well. Roman Reigns isn't the best talker. He doesn't have much charisma, and he's not the best wrestler. I'm just saying, he has a valid argument, and so do people who agree with him. I don't know why he's catching so much hate for this. He was just saying something he was thinking. But anyways, I had to talk about that. It was something I found very interesting. Rikishi kind of overreacted a little bit. Johnny Mundo may have worded it a little bit differently, to save some hate, some dislike from Roman Reigns fans. But it's over with. He said it, and you just got to move on and keep going. In other WWE news, John Cena will be missing WrestleMania 32. I cannot believe that he will be missing this. He hasn't missed WrestleMania. I'm going to go ahead and say since WrestleMania 20. That's what I think. Don't quote me on that. But that was his first WrestleMania. It's the first WrestleMania I watched live. And he beat Big Show for the U.S. title in the opening match. But I think that was that was his first WrestleMania, and he hasn't missed one since until now. What does this mean for WrestleMania? Yeah, John Cena, blah, 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 you can't see me, Fruity Pebbles. But at Mania, he puts on a great show. Yeah, he buried Wyatt last year, which kind of sucked. It was a great match, though. Cena can put on a good match, and he has some good WrestleMania moments as well. He beat JBL at WrestleMania 21 for the WWE title. He's beaten Triple H at WrestleMania. I mean, he's a good go-to for WrestleMania. If you don't know what to do with the superstar, you can put it with John Cena, and you know it's going to be a great match. I think they may have originally planned for Cena to face Undertaker this year. And Cena is out right now. He's hurt, but he's also doing his own thing. He's, stepping away, taking time off, doing so many different things, and he deserves it. He has been there every day, as much as he could for the past 12, 13 years. He deserves a break. And a lot of fans are not happy that he's missing Mania or upset, which I can see why you're upset. But it's okay that he's missing it that's his decision. Now, he says he's not wrestling, which means he may be on the show. He may be on it in a big fashion as well. He may help Shane McMahon, which I think that's a big possibility. But he may not. Who knows? It's just really interesting to see where this is going to go, because he said for a fact, I am not wrestling at WrestleMania. Do we take this as, he's not going to be on the show, or that's a clever way of saying I'm not wrestling, but I'm going to be there in some way? I'm hoping it's that, because We haven't seen Cena in so long, and I mean, I'm ready for him to come back. It'll be something. Maybe he'll come back with something different, something new, because he definitely needs that. We can all agree on that, right, guys? But Cena missing Mania, it's gonna be interesting to see how this Mania goes without him, because a lot of people watch just to see him. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of kids do watch just to see Cena on the show, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how this turns out. Another thing I've been thinking about is, what if Cena doesn't come back? What if he just doesn't wrestle anymore? Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But what if he's done? He's not that young anymore. He's actually almost 40. What if he's, had enough? He's given most of his adult life to this business. What if he doesn't come back? That's always a possibility when these guys get this old. And you can't really blame them. I mean, wrestling takes a huge toll on your life, and it can take many years away from your life. And I can see most people his age, wanting to relax. Yeah, there's a bunch of people his age that are in the WWE. AJ Styles is up there. Austin Aries, they both just joined the company, and they're up there. Orton's getting a little older. These guys aren't young anymore, which also leads to the fact that they're going to have to look for new stars. They're trying to make Roman Reigns the new John Cena, but it's not working. So I think they're going to have to look in a different direction. Now, who could that be? In my mind, he's not on the main roster right now, but Finn Balor is going to be the next guy. If it happens, you heard it here first. Shocker said it on the Rasslin Club podcast that Finn Balor is going to be the future face of the WWE. Now let's look at why and how this is going to happen. Finn Balor is NXT. When you hear NXT, you think Finn Balor, at least in my mind. He has been NXT champion for a long time now, and every time you watch the show and he's on there, the fans love him. I can't get enough of the guy. The face paint, the body paint, it's awesome. And he can wrestle. Every time you see his entrance, I get so pumped. I'm like, here we go. We're in for a great match. Now, I think if they want to bring him up soon, they should go ahead and do it after Mania. I've heard they want to make him the face of NXT, but I think they're going to have to make a really big decision and go ahead and move him up. They could do this one of two ways. Number one, they bring in Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows with him. They are the new Bullet Club, or the Bulletproof Balor Club. Whatever they're going to call it, they come up together. They interfere in, I don't know, Shane's match, maybe helping Triple H in that match. Who knows? Maybe Roman Reigns. They interfere in someone's match, and it doesn't really, affect anyone's storyline. They don't feud with that person. They just start wreaking havoc on the company, the new Bullet Club. Who would not want to see that? But anyways, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows get a little jealous of Finn Balor. They're like, oh man, this dude is getting all the attention and we're doing the dirty work. So they eventually turn heel on Finn Balor. And maybe they have a feud, maybe they have a couple handicap matches. But in the end, Finn Balor is going to win this feud. And people are going to be like, man, this dude can actually go. He doesn't need those two guys. This dude is awesome. So Finn Balor is now a face, while the other two are still heel, which they can be a great heel tag team. I mean, they were great in New Japan together. But Finn Balor, he goes on, he fights. He wrestles every week, every Raw, maybe every SmackDown. Just get the guy some matches, because we love watching him wrestle. Get him an Intercontinental Championship. Put it on him. Have him hold it for a year. Yeah, I said it, a year. This may be outlandish to some of you, but I think this would work. Put him on it. Put the belt on him for a year. Have him be the face of the Intercontinental Championship. You want to make it important again? Let him defend it every week. Give it to him for a year. He's like, I've been there. He comes out because of promo. It says, I've been Intercontinental Champion for a year. No one can beat me. I think I'm ready for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which is kind of similar to what they did in TNA with Austin Aries and the X Division belt a few years ago with Option C, which, yeah. But they could make this work. He wouldn't be giving up the title. Not everyone could give up the title. He would have to give it up. Yeah, okay, he would have to give it up. But not everyone has the option to do this. But Finn would be like, listen, I have done everything. I beat every opponent. I deserve a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that's how they should start the build for Finn Balor when he comes up. I don't know who's going to be champion at the time. Probably Reigns. But if Reigns is a heel, this would be the perfect match. Finn Balor, the face of the WWE, versus Roman, the baddest heel in the company, which he has potential to be. This is what I think they should do with Finn Balor since Cena's going to be gone. It's just some idea I've had. I wanted to share it with you. Give me your ideas. I know that may be crazy, but I'm sure they don't have anything better, and they're not going to bring up Finn Balor anytime soon. But if you do, go ahead and use my idea. I'll let you have it. You don't have to give me credit. Just do it, because it'll make people happy. Moving on, there are rumors that a WWE star is also wanting to leave the company, like Wade Barrett wants to leave in the summer when his contract runs out. There's been talk all week about who this could be, and no one really knows. Everyone's talking about it, but no one knows if it's true or who it is. But there has been talk that it may be Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler has been fed up. He's talked about it to many different people and many different sources that he doesn't really like the way things are going. And I can't blame him. Ziggler was a huge deal back in the day. Back in the day. 3-4 years ago, Ziggler was really important to the company. And now he's not. He's just an average Joe. He's just there to put on a good show, which he does. But that's all he is. He was World Heavyweight Champion, and the crowd popped for it in 2013. Yeah, 2013, he won the World Heavyweight title the night after Mania by cashing in his Money in the Bank. And he got hurt after that, and then that was it. He was never champion again, and his push was ruined, and they didn't do anything with him after that. They turned him face, they put him in a few feuds with people that went nowhere. And it kind of sucks because he is really talented. And, I mean, there's not much else I can say about it. They kind of ruined his character. He's just a jobber pretty much, which kind of sucks. But what can we do? Maybe he'll go somewhere else and have an awesome career. Because there's more than just WWE. There's wrestling everywhere. But if it is him, best of luck if you leave. If it's not, who's it going to be? Let me know who you think it's going to be. Because if it's not him, I have no idea who it's going to be. In TNA news, Ken Anderson, formerly Ken Kennedy in the WWE, has been fired by TNA, which caught me off guard because he's been there for a few years now. I want to say 2010 he showed up there. But yeah, he failed a drug test and they fired him, which is really weird because I know for a fact that there have been other superstars who have failed drug tests in that company, Jeff Hardy, that did not get in trouble at all, and they just ignored it. I didn't know how their policies were there in TNA with the drug policy and the steroid policy, but it looks like they're going to be enforcing it more, and maybe they're using Anderson as an example. Like, listen, we want this company to be clean. We don't want you doing anything you shouldn't be doing. We're for real now. And that's not a bad thing to do. I mean, some of these things these guys can do will really mess up their lives. I mean, look at past wrestlers before they had all these policies about drugs. They messed themselves up pretty bad, which really sucks. But it was a different time, and now we know what these things can do, and they can ruin your body in many different ways. But it kind of sucks for him. I mean, I've never been a big fan of Anderson, but he's not that bad. I mean, maybe he'll get some matches on the indies. I only hope. I don't want the guy to not have a job, but best of luck, Anderson, wherever you go. It sucks. Now back to WWE news. There have been rumors that 2 superstars may be returning soon, actually. Shawn Michaels is one of them. That's right. The Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper, may have a role in WrestleMania 32. What role, we don't know. Rumor has it that Shawn was supposed to be at the Royal Rumble for something. We're not sure because it didn't happen, obviously. The plans fell through, but they still want him back on WWE programming. there's been talks that he may be the special guest referee during Triple H's match against Roman Reigns. More support for Triple H, so we think. But there's also been talks that he may, screw Triple H over, like endorse Roman Reigns, try to get the fans to like him if they do decide to keep him face. Don't do that, WWE. But that has been something that may happen. People have been talking about it. Shawn Michaels is always good to bring in because he is the best wrestler of all time. You heard it from Shocker. He is, trust me. But he's always good to bring in because he really knows the business and he knows what will work and what won't. And if it won't work, he usually doesn't do it. But Shawn may be at WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to it. If he is, it's always cool to see something like that. A lot of people don't like when we have special guest refs, especially when they're best friends. And they did it with Taker back at WrestleMania 28. But I think they may be leaning toward HBK endorsing Roman Reigns. He's the new guy. He's the champ. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Now, the other superstar, major superstar, may be returning as soon as May. Seth Rollins. That's right. He is back training in the ring. And apparently he is making really good progress, which is great. Thank you so much, Seth Rollins, for getting back training. We need you right now. Seth Rollins is amazing. Many of you may not know, may know that he is one of my favorite wrestlers right now. I went back and watched a bunch of his stuff from Ring of Honor after I saw him debut because I really didn't know much about him. And man, I was so impressed. And I'm even more impressed with what he did as a heel. They made him a little bit of a coward, but when he needed to wrestle and back it up, he did it. And he is amazing. I'm so glad that he's getting back in the ring. Hopefully, he will be back by May, because that changes the whole face of the company, because he does get a chance to get his title back. And I think if they turn Reigns heel, he'll come back as a face. But if they don't, he'll come back and he may end up turning face. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. But it's really something to look forward to. Rollins, I hope you get back soon. May, hopefully, like everyone's saying. Get better soon, Rollins. This past week's inductee into the Hall of Fame was the Big Boss Man. And my immediate reaction was, isn't he already in the Hall of Fame? And I go Google, I dig. He's not. Why wasn't he already in the Hall of Fame? He is one of the best workers for his size. He is awesome. I went back and watched his stuff when I found out that he was going to be in the Hall of Fame. And he was so underrated. He was always a really good heel, not the best face. But he could wrestle really good for a big guy. The slam that he did, well, not really a sidewalk slam. It's kind of what Big Cass does. I'm really not sure what the name of it is. But that move was awesome. I loved it when he did it. And I loved when he did the thing with Big Show with his dad's funeral. I mean, it's funny. The Attitude Era, man. But Big Boss Man, rest in peace, man. You definitely deserve this. This is far overdue. It's awesome that you're finally in the Hall of Fame. I want to talk about Cesaro next. That's right, the Swiss Superman. He was asked in an interview when he could possibly be returning. He said, unfortunately, WrestleMania 32 is a bit too soon, which definitely sucks. Cesaro was on fire right before he got hurt. He was getting pushed. He was getting an awesome reaction. And then, boom. It's been happening to a lot of guys. They're getting, finally getting up there, and then injury. Same with Rollins. Rollins was getting so good, and he got hurt. But Cesaro, man, they're missing him big time. I think they actually have big plans for him, and I think Mania, they're going to let him do something crazy. Now, I don't know where they're going to go with him. Maybe getting him an Intercontinental title match. Probably be one of the more likely things. But it just sucks that he got hurt. He said hopefully it'll be a little bit after WrestleMania, but it won't be WrestleMania. And you don't want to, he said, you don't want to rush coming back from an injury because you're going to get hurt again. Unfortunately, Daniel Bryan rushed his comeback and he got hurt again, and now he's retired, unfortunately. And Cesaro, he's just taking the safe route. It's the worst time to be hurt, he said, because it's WrestleMania season, and he wants to be there. many people think, oh, he's getting paid anyways. Most of these guys are in it for the wrestling. I mean, they are getting paid, but they love wrestling. That's their passion. That's why they do this. And Cesaro's itching to get back in the ring, and I am for him. I can't wait to see him come back, hopefully right where he left off, and get going again. All right, our final thoughts on the Rasslin Club podcast are going to be about Raw. We're not going to have a Raw preview for tomorrow, so this is going to be our Raw preview. Tomorrow, they have another tag team title match set. It is the New Day versus Alberto Del Rio and Rusev. I don't know why they're doing this. The League of Nations had a title shot last night, and they lost. The only way I can see this working is they're trying to get the New Day over as faces, which they already are over, but they're trying to let everyone know they're the good guys now. That's the only way I can see this working, and I think that's maybe why they're doing it. But other than that, come on, just have them do a segment. Have the New Day do something funny. But, yeah, that's happening tomorrow night. Shane McMahon and The Undertaker are advertised to be on the show. And now, just now, not too long ago, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman are now being advertised for the show as well. So we might be looking at a good Raw tomorrow, which last week wasn't that bad either. It had its ups and downs. But Shane, Undertaker, Brock, they're going to be on the show tomorrow. Shane and Undertaker hopefully have an interaction because we haven't seen any interaction between them yet. And I want to see how that is going to pan out. Undertaker really didn't say anything about Shane. He just said, it's going to be your fault, Vince. And Shane said, I respect The Undertaker. But maybe when they talk, that might change. And maybe we'll have a clear heel and a clear face. And I think if we ever do, of course, Undertaker's going to have to be heel. But we don't know how that's going to go yet. We have 3 weeks till Mania. Hopefully they'll let us have a more clear path of how this is going to be. But until then, we're just going to have to guess. Also, Mick Foley is scheduled to be on the show. But it's just rumors right now. WWE isn't advertising, but there have been reports by multiple news sources that Mick Foley is supposed to be there. I want to see Mick Foley. I haven't seen him in a while. He's always, something to look forward to. They will be in Pittsburgh tomorrow, and Mick Foley's going to get the cheap pop. I mean, who doesn't love the cheap pop? But anyways, that's our show, guys. I'm sorry Gillespie and Chris weren't here. I'm sure they would have added a lot of elements to this show, some comedy, because they're both hilarious guys, and they love wrestling, and they love talking about it, having a good time. But I hope you enjoyed this without them. I'm sorry if I rambled on a little bit. That's just what I do. I like talking. I like letting people know what I think, and that's just how it is. And at the Wrestling Club, that's okay. But thanks for listening, guys. My name is Shocker. Please like this, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know your ideas of what you think is going to happen with WrestleMania season coming up. And subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe because, we want more fans. We want more interaction. That's what we're here. That's what we're all about here at the Wrestling Club. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching. Did you enjoy this video? Do you want more Wrestling Club? Click subscribe today. And don't forget to like all our videos and go back and watch all the other ones. We have Throwback Thursdays every single Thursday. And we have our podcast, the Wrestling Club Podcast, every Sunday. You don't want to miss those. Subscribe today. Now enjoy this royalty-free music.